Dear friends, we are in strategic financial management subject. In the previous class, we came to know about EBIT and EPS. EBIT stands for earnings before interest and taxes, whereas EPS stands for earning per share. In yesterday's class, in the previous class, we have done one problem also on EBIT EPS analysis. In this class, we will do another problem with respect to EBIT and EPS analysis. This is the problem. I am reading the problem. A firm A has a capital structure consisting of equity capital only. It has 50,000 equity shares of 10 rupees each. Now, the firm wants to raise a fund of 1,25,000 rupees for its expansion after considering the following three alternative methods of financing. These are the three alternative methods of financing. First one, if it issues 12,500 equity shares of 10 rupees each, if it borrows 1,25,000 rupees at 8% interest, if it issues 1,250 8% preference shares of 100 rupees each. Show the effect of EPS under various methods of financing if EBIT means after additional investment. This is okay, after the additional investment, that is of an amount of 1,25,000. Okay, after additional investment is 2 lakh rupees and the rate of taxation is 50%. So this is the problem, and we have to give a solution to this problem in such a way that we have to consider these three options, and in these three options, for whichever option there is more EPS, that option we have to choose. That option has to be chosen by the company. So we have to advise like that. Okay, I hope you understood how EPS is calculated. In the previous class I have mentioned. Again I am showing you. This is the way we have calculated in the previous class. Calculation of EPS. See, EBIT you will take into consideration. EBIT means earning before interest and tax. See, the earning before interest and tax that is given in the problem as 2 lakh rupees. Okay, so from this, if at all any debt financing is there, that interest you will deduct from EBIT, you will get EBT, and from this one you will deduct taxes, you will get earnings after taxes, and from this amount you will deduct preference share dividend, and amount that you will get is going to be available to equity shareholders, and earnings per share you will get when you divide earnings available to equity shares by total number of equity shares outstanding in the company. So this is the procedure which you have to follow in calculating EPS. Okay, we will solve the problem. Okay, now, so in this problem you are asked to show the effect of EPS. Okay, effect of EPS under various methods of financing. Okay, effect of EPS under various methods of financing. Now you can see how you are going to calculate, how we will calculate. I will tell you. See, three alternatives are available for the company. We have to take into consideration all these three. Okay. See, these three alternatives at a time we will take into consideration. First one, another one, second one. Okay. And the third one. These three you have to take into consideration. What are the options available? First one, this is A, B, C. These three options we have to take into consideration. This is if we follow option A. This is if we follow option B. This is if we follow option C. Okay, these are the three options you have to consider, and you have to show the effect of EBIT on EPS. Okay, first of all, this is A stands for, you all know it is totally in A. You can observe only equity shares are there. If we take into consideration this option, only equity shares are there. No debt financing is there. No preference shares are there in option A. Okay. So first one, equity financing. Equity financing. Equity financing. This is option A. Next, in option B, you can see only debt financing is there. That's all. Okay, this is debt financing. In the previous problem, we have checked with debentures. Here it is debt financing. Debt financing. Okay. In C, you can observe totally preference shares are there. That's all. Preference share financing is there. So these three we have to consider. This is option A. Now see, first one we have to see. Yes, in the previous problem we have done. First you have to take into consideration EBIT, earnings before interest and taxes. Now you see, this is in the problem. After additional investment only it is given the profit. So here also in bracket you can keep after additional investment, mentioning like that. You have to write in full after additional investment. See, in the three cases same amount is given, that is in the problem how much profit is given, how much earnings is given before interest and taxes, that is 2 lakhs is given. Okay, this 2 lakhs we have to take into consideration. Okay, so same 2 lakhs in this case also. Here also in the third alternative also 2 lakhs is given. Now from this one, see, we have to deduct interest. If at all any debt financing is there, any debentures are there, you have to deduct first, minus interest. See, in the first option, what is given? Totally only equity shares are considered. So here there is no interest. Okay. In second one, debt financing is given. Okay. In the second one, if it borrows 1,25,000 at 8% interest, that you have to calculate. See here, on 1,25,000 into 8% you have to calculate. So what is the amount? In the next step you can write 1,25,000 into 8%. 1,25,000 into 8%. That is 10,000 is coming. Okay, 10,000. So here in the third one, as we have done, as it is mentioned, okay. So in the third one, only preference shares are there. So here also there is no case of interest. So interest only in second alternative, because debt financing is there. That is why interest came for us. Okay. So you have to deduct. So here you can check. This is 2 lakhs only, as there is no interest involved. See here, in this case, from 2 lakhs you have to deduct 10,000 rupees. Okay, this you can keep it in bracket so that you can easily understand. Okay, from 2 lakhs if you minus 10,000, you will get 1,90,000. Here also there is no interest, so this is the step. Okay, so this is what? This is earnings before taxes. So you can see this is earnings before taxes. From this, what you have to do? You have to deduct taxes. So minus taxes. Now you see, you can see company is in 50% tax bracket. That is mentioned. So from this amount, 50% will be paid as taxes by the company. So from 2 lakhs, if you take away 50%, it will be 1 lakh. Next, from 1,90,000, 50% if you take away, it will be 95,000. Again, here also there is no difference. In 2 lakhs, same amount will be there, as in the first case. So if you deduct, you will get from 2 lakhs, if you minus, you will get 1 lakh rupees. If you deduct 95,000 from 1,90,000, you will get 95,000. Here you will get 1 lakh rupees. Okay. So what is this? This is EAT. EAT means earnings after tax. This is earnings after tax. Okay. Now, next, from this, what you have to do? You have to reduce. You have to deduct preference share dividend. Okay. So minus preference dividend. So here in the first alternative there is no preference share. In the second alternative also there is no preference share. In the first alternative totally it is equity financing. Second option totally debt financing. Third one you can see preference share financing is there. So you have to pay preference share dividend. See, as per the third option, 1,25,000 rupees. See, 1,250 preference shares at the rate of 100 each. Means total 1,25,000 will be collected as preference capital. On this one, 8% you have to calculate. Okay. So on 1,25,000 at 8%. 1,25,000 to 8%. We have to calculate. Okay. Now you can see 1,25,000 into 8%. It is coming up to 10,000. Now you can check. Now you can see if you deduct here it will be 1 lakh rupees, here it will be 95,000 and here it will be 90,000. Now this is earnings available to equity shares. Earnings available to equity shares. Okay. Now, how to calculate EPS? If you all know, EPS is equal to earnings available to equity shares by number of equity shares. Number of equity shares. This way you can calculate. Now you can see in option 1, in option A, see total 1 lakh rupees is available to equity shareholders. Total how many equity shares are there? You first of all note down that. See, originally at the beginning the company has 50,000 equity shares. Now newly how many they are issuing? 12,500 in option A. See, at the beginning in all the three options the company has 50,000 equity shares. In option A the company has issued 12,500 equity shares. The company is proposing to issue, is thinking of issuing 12,500. So totally 50,000 at the beginning and 12,500. So if you add the both of them, you will get 62,500. So 62,500 shares are there, equity shares. 62,500. Coming to second option, in second option, only debt financing newly they are thinking. So existing 50,000 shares are there, that's all equity shares. Okay. So here also, well, preference shares they are thinking of. No fresh equity shares they are issuing. They are thinking to issue rather. Now, so under option A, 62,500 equity shares are going to be there. If they consider B option, 50,000 equity shares are going to be there. If they consider C option, that is preference share financing, Total 50,000 equity shares are going to be there. Only in option A, total number of equity shares will change, because the option A totally the company is thinking of issuing only equity shares. In the remaining two cases, one is debt financing, and in another case it is preference share issues. So that is why now you calculate. Now you can see. So it is 1 lakh divided by 62,500. 1 lakh divided by 62,500. So in this case it is 95,000 profit, that is EPS, sorry, earnings available to equity shares. 95,000 divided by how many shares are there? 50,000. 50,000. So in this case it is 90,000 divided by total shares. Total equity shares are 50,000. Now you have to calculate. This is only 1 lakh rupees. No? So it is 1 lakh only. Now 62,500. Okay, right. Now you can see 1 lakh divided by 62,500. It is equal to 1.6. So EPS, this is EPS. It is 1.6 in first case. That is in option A. In the second option, it is 95,000 divided by 50,000 equity shares. It is equal to 1.9. 1.9. Now we come to third option, that is C option. 90,000 divided by 50,000. It is equal to 1.8. 1.8. Now you can see in option B, if debt financing is chosen by the company's EPS will be more. You can see it is 1.9. Whereas if preference share option is chosen by the company, EPS will be 1.8. If equity financing option is chosen by the company, EPS will be 1.6. So in this way, capital structure affects equity shareholders' earnings. So in order to identify the option, the alternative which is going to benefit maximum to the equity shareholders, that option a company has to choose. So in this case, you can find debt financing is more profitable to equity shareholders. Okay, so option B the company will choose because it is maximizing EPS, that is earnings per share. Okay. This option should be preferred by the company because EPS is more for this company. Now again, why this is happening, you can check. See, interest on debt financing, interest is tax deductible. So whereas if equity financing is adopted, if preference share financing is adopted, chosen by the company, here there is no benefit for the company. At this portion you can see. Whereas on debt financing, company can save certain amount because interest is fixed. Fixed interest you have to pay, that is tax deductible. This 10,000 will in a tax you can save this 10,000, means that will be beneficial for the shareholders. Before tax only you are going to deduct this interest payable to debt finance option. Okay, so that is why whenever a company wants to expand, whenever company wants additional funds, it has to check EBIT, EPS relationship. The company has to choose that option which maximizes equity shareholders' earnings. As you all know, equity shareholders are the real owners of a company. So as such, the company has to opt for that alternative, that option which maximizes EPS. In which case, EPS is maximum. That has to be chosen by the company. Again, I will read the problem. I will quickly go through the solution. Firm A has a capital structure consisting of equity capital only. It has 50,000 equity shares of 10 rupees each. Now the firm wants to raise 1,25,000 additional funds, and it is considering these three options. In option A, 12,500 equity shares at 10 each. At option B, 1,25,000 debt financing at 8% interest, and option C, 1,250 preference shares issuance at 8% of 100 rupees each. Now you are asked to show EPS under these three options or under these three alternatives. So EBIT is given as 2 lakhs and tax bracket is given as 50%. So based on this, we have calculated under option A, under option B, under option C. So EBIT under option A is 2 lakhs. In all these three cases, it is 2 lakhs only. And interest in debt financing, you have to, company has to pay interest. So that is it, this 10,000 you can deduct. You will get EBT, that is earnings before tax. From this one, tax 50%. So in 2 lakhs, 50% is 1 lakh. In 1,90,000, 50% is 95,000. In 2 lakhs, 50% is 1 lakh. So if you deduct, earnings after tax will come. From this one, preference share dividend you have to deduct. And this amount will be available to equity shareholders. Now EPS is earnings available to equity shareholders by number of equity shares. In first case, already existing 50,000 equity shareholders are there, and newly 12,500 the company is considering to issue. So 50,000 plus 12,500, totally it will make 62,500. In option B, there is no change to equity shares. It is 50,000. In option C, there is no change in equity shares. That is 50,000. Okay. So if you divide earnings available to equity shares by number of equity shares, you will get 1.6, 1.9 and 1.8 respectively. So this is, you please note this, these are the number of equity shares. Okay. So you know it. See, number of equity shares in first case is 60,500. In B, option B, it is 50,000. In option C, it is 50,000. Earnings available to equity shares in option A, it is 1 lakh. In option B, it is 95,000. In option C, it is 90,000. So this divided by this will give this. So this is the highest. So the company will choose option B in such a case. So in this way, EBIT and EPS analysis is very, very important in capital structure decisions. Thank you very much, dear friends. I hope you understood. In next class, we will meet again. Have a nice day.